Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for the weekend, January 10th and 11th, 2015. We're going to start off with Saturday. We're going to have high pressure to our south. It's going to be mostly sunny day, but very cold on the north side of this system here. And we're going to have temperatures here. They're going to be stuck in the teens in most locations in Pennsylvania, and maybe barely getting to 20 here as you get into New Jersey and across Maryland and Delaware here. But it's going to be very cold today. One good thing is the wind isn't going to be too terrible, but will be breezy enough that the wind chills will be stuck in the teens, or excuse me, the single digits for much of the day on Saturday. Going a little bit further here now, high pressure moves over top of us on Sunday, and just to our east, as it moves offshore here with that return flow, you're going to get a little bit of a warming going on here on Sunday, but nothing crazy here. We're going to have temperatures still below freezing. You see the 32-degree line is actually drawing it right here. It's actually below our coverage area here. So the original thoughts that Sunday we're going to be one of those warm days that it's in the mid-30s, mid to upper 30s, not happening. We're talking about 20s still, maybe upper 20s here on Sunday with that return flow around the high pressure here, but still below freezing. And then we turn our eyes to our next system, which will move in here early Monday morning here. Maybe the pre-dawn hours here, we got some sleet and freezing rain for our central areas right in this area right here. Very concerned about that. There could be a couple, several tenths of an inch of freezing rain. This would be in the form of freezing rain, not sleet so much. And then to the north up here, this would all be snow up on the northern tier. So this would be across northeastern PA, most likely the northern Poconos and places like from Lycoming over to about Wayne County, and that if you draw a straight line up there, that's your area that we get primarily snow, and primarily light snow out of that. Nothing too crazy. And it's just the icing is just going to be in the middle here, but not all areas will stay iced the entire time. I'm going to go show you two different vantage points, because this is the GFS we're looking at here, because it's showing a precipitation type map. And first we're going to go through to the next frame here. This is from last night. I'm showing you last night's run here, the 0Z run. And this is what we were thinking this entire time. You see where the green is? It cuts into south central PA and cuts into Philly. Everything north of that line is frozen. Everything south of that, it turns to rain at some point. But you can see all this the dark pinks. This is heavy freezing rain, well, moderate freezing rain that's going to could cause some significant travel problems. That's what you're worried about. Then on the north side of that, far north side of that, up here in the northern Poconos, it would still be light snow at that point. And then this system would then move off to the east, and then it would just end the same precipitation type as you started with, except for some of those areas in the central areas, like the Lehigh Valley over to northern New Jersey, might end as a brief period of snow as this pulls away. Here's your low pressure causing all this whole thing, the overrunning. I want to go over to the GFS from 6Z. This is the latest run of it. This runs every 6 hours, and I wanted to show you this because it shows a different vantage point here. It shows the same thing of the sleet and freezing rain moving in. Look how far south it gets, all the way down to Baltimore. Okay, and then into South Jersey. Starts off as freezing rain up in this area that I'm circling. Still snow up here, but you see the snow line came down a little bit. Okay, the cold air has come down a little bit. So it's coming down further to the south here. GFS is making this colder on its latest run. And so what it does at the next run, and this would be a blessing if it did, start off as freezing rain here and then go over to snow here for central areas. You see there's a lot more blue on the map here. This would be a lifesaver. You don't want to, if you're going to deal with a winter precipitation type, you would much rather be snow than ice. Ice is very difficult to travel in. Pretty much stops everything. It causes lots of accidents, shuts everything down, causes power outages. We don't want that. All right. So if this is correct, and the GFS is correct with a colder solution here, and this actually becoming snow, that would be great. Now still, here's your rain line here. Right here, and the rain is going to be the same areas. We're pretty much sold that even if you do start off as a brief mix down in these areas here, we'll go over to rain, and that would be mainly southeast of I-95. I know I-95 always seems to be the dividing line. It's just the placement of where it is. It just seems like that's where it's liking this year. Everything northwest of I-95 for wintry stuff. Okay, at least right now. Now I'm going to stay with this for a minute, but I'm going to go back over to the temperatures here. Now this is a look at the Canadian and the European model. This is actually the Canadian's look here. This is, I'm going to outline here where the 32-degree line is, where it never gets above 32 all day. Kind of like this, okay? So anything up here stays frozen the entire day on the Canadian and the European model, which means you have a little bit of warm air getting in here where you get into the lower to mid 30s on this side, which would change it over to rain at some point. Even though it does that, and even though this line's right here, you would still have in this area here significant freezing rain before it changed over on both the European model and the Canadian based on these surface temperatures. So you go over to the GFS, however, your 32-degree line actually runs a lot further south. Okay, so it never gets above freezing right here. So you have a lot more colder air to work with. So we'll have to see how that works out and which model is going to end up correct. This is the latest run of the GFS here, so we'll see if that's going to be a trend going forward here. The NAM's not is the warmest of any model, but I really want to trust that at this range with temperatures. Okay, going to go back to the GFS now, and I want to stay with the 6C just because I want to go a little bit further here and show you the system we'll be talking about next week. If you look at our local forecasts, it actually says watching a coastal storm on Thursday, and this wasn't showing on any model whatsoever yesterday when we did our forecast, or at least last night when we did our forecast. No model was showing this idea, but we went with it anyway. So, and now they're here on the 6C. This is just some overrunning stuff, some light stuff here on Wednesday. This is not the one I'm talking about. So you go a little bit further here. It's showing a coastal storm now. Here's the GFS, bringing a storm from the Carolinas up to the north. This will be on Thursday, all right? And it brings a situation where you have a 993 sitting right near the benchmark. Now it's showing a lot of warm air on this side of it, on the eastern side of it, where you would have rain. Again, I-95, loves I-95, but you would have heavy snow in the interior here. Okay, don't worry about the details of rain versus snow at this point. It looks like it would be, as long as it stayed on a track, it didn't come further west, it would probably more cold air involved in with this again, and this would probably be a snowstorm if it did in fact take this track, and if this is in fact correct. But you can see what it does as it bombs out here south of Long Island. You get the heavy snowfall from eastern Pennsylvania and over New Jersey. Once that might start off as rain according to the GFS here. But again, particulars are not important. We're just looking at a storm and a storm signal. And I really do think that a storm comes up the coast here and eventually brings a coastal storm. Where we're liking this time period. We have liked it for about 2 weeks. So we're going to keep a close eye on this right now. And if you look at our local forecast, it's on Thursday. It just says watching a coastal storm. Some forecasters actually even put a question mark over there because there were a lot of uncertainty with this system. So stay tuned with that. Let's get through Monday first. We're going to have a first call out probably this afternoon or this evening what we're expecting as far as icing and snow amounts for your local area in map form on weather alerts. And that will probably be this evening. We'll announce that on Facebook. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for the weekend, January 10th and 11th, 2015. Have a great Saturday.